Righty, week 3 in CIT15. Really, I'm in week 2, but I did get us through. Well, I didn't get us through. We collectively got us through the first due date. And I know that this class, I can imagine your other classes, your life, the world, the heat wave that we're all in. There's a lot that gets your attention. So I understand. I'm try to be more understanding, especially in the beginning of the semester when you miss something. So you probably heard from me if you missed something. And the thing that most folks missed this week, I noticed a good chunk of you did the introduction. Well, actually, that was week 1. Now I'm into week 2, so I'm still early days. But in this sense, the first due date. By the way, a little side note, the reason I'm doing this is that I think it was Megan, asked me if I would kind of look at the prior week review. And so I'm kind of trying to do that. And this is the first question you can answer, is like, what would you like me to cover besides what I'm going to do? Which is like, here's what I saw happen. Here's what's coming at us. So you can let me know that. So what happened is that, some of you did the Myitlab, but you did it over in Myitlab and then didn't report. Well, the good news about that is because everything has a timestamp on it. All you had to do, for those of you that did this and you saw this, was you just went and created your PDF like I showed, and then you were good to go and you posted it, right? So on an ongoing basis, in the beginning, I'm not going to mark off for that, but if I see you do it a couple times just to help drive the point home, I might. So just get in the groove. And the other thing is that I get several emails the night stuff is due. And, no matter how many times we say it, so I'm probably going to say it again. It's like, work ahead, schedule yourself, have some, and this is a key quality. And I have to work on it too, is actually having self-discipline. Like I have content to create. I have grading to do. Trust me, there are other things I'd want to do. Like I just finished playing with my Oculus Quest, my virtual reality workout. I'd rather do that. But I know if I do this, if I work on the things that I need, then I can more enjoy the time that I would have to do that. So that's how I look at it. It's like I do an incentive program with myself because, trust me, I get how hard it is. Well, I don't get it. Your lives and my life are different, and that's good and that's okay. But I just want you to know that I have to do this as well. So here's the other thing, right? So here's the content for this week. So you do have to have Myitlab. I wish there was a way around that. Please buy it from the website, myitlab.com. It's cheaper, right? You get it instantly. No offense to anyone else. It's just, why not get it the cheapest way you can? Okay, so before I jump into just kind of, and again, I think I don't really need to go over this, at least from the video's perspective, because they do a really good job. But let me say this, on the John Oliver stuff, right? If language bothers you, don't watch them, right? John Oliver is known to be he's very himself, and sometimes that means bad language. So if that bothers you, please don't do it. But this content is really good. And not that I guess I am talking about it a little bit. Net neutrality, which is what this is, which is really trying to say, how do we, and I don't want to say regulate the net, right? We always talk about there's freedom and we want all bits, and bits is a term, if you don't already know, you'll learn through this class, all bits to be created equally. and they're just not. And right now, because of the current state of the world, this is definitely a back burner issue from our current world. But it's still something that I think is really good to understand, because trying to regulate, trying to open the internet while also making money, which anyway. So check that out. The thing I wanted to say is we're at week 3, right? So let me circle back around. Coming at you in week 6 is your first lab test, okay? And this is where you're going to need Word, Excel, Access installed, okay, on your computer. So this week, as one of your fellow students, again, asked me, they're like, Rio, and I'll just show you what they were referring to, is up in week 1, this download Office for free. That was a pretty old video. So what I did is I went through, did some research, figured out how on the current setup that we're all on to help you. I didn't walk completely through it, but I did at least the major things you would need to get that done. So check that out as well. But the reason I'm mentioning it now is that we are now in the future 3 weeks away from week 6, right? So it's actually, it's around 3 weeks. So we'll do a lab 2 this week, 3, 4, and then that will be the lab test after. And then we'll do the same thing with Excel, and you'll have Access. And Access is the one for those of you on a Mac. The other thing I need to do is actually create some video showing you how on a Mac you can run Windows, which is what I do whenever I need to run Windows, and it is quite often. Okay, so that's the lab test. Here's some of the things I'm going to talking about today, which is the whole Myitlab thing. So I get it that sometimes you click on something and it doesn't work or it doesn't respond well. 99% of the time, okay, here's what's happening. Students don't do the training. And if you don't do the training, you're trying to do the exam without having any. And what may be hard about this is you may think, well, I already know how to do this. Like on Windows, on the exam that I did to create the video for these lab assignments to show you how I want it, I didn't do the training. And I had to kind of figure it out as I went. So you can try that. By the way, when you when you create that report, it shows you exactly what to click on to do it. So if you want to go back around, and you can totally go back around and do it again. Okay? Do that, right? If you want, if it was me and I was actually trying to do this for a grade, I would do the training, right? And then I would do the exam as close together as I possibly could. Okay? It's, again, most of the time I get questions that the answer is, did you do the training? And I had 2 questions this week, and both times I went and looked and the person hadn't done the training. So when you're asking questions like that, that's probably going to be my first question to you. Okay? Now, here's the other thing. Myitlab has a website, okay, which you are logging into and registering with, but they also have support here. And what you can do is you can look at some of the videos if you need that, but you can also visit their support and then search for some of the things that you may be running into. Okay, so that is the other way to do it. You can also, I believe, here contact them to get support. I think they have a text, they have SMS, phone, chat. So there are multiple ways to get in touch with them. And the thing is, they're going to, let me just come here, they're going to do the best job of, part of what you paid for is support. The way you can support yourself is to do the training. If you still need support, here's going to be some of my suggestions, because I understand sometimes it's like, I don't want to reach out for support. I don't have time. I just want to get it done. I get it. Trust me, it's not the most fun thing to set on a tech support call. So here's some of my suggestions. Use Chrome whenever possible. If you're having issues with Chrome, right, try Firefox. If you're having issues with there, okay, whatever. I wouldn't try Safari. I mean, you can. I can't stop. You can try it. You can try Internet Explorer, right? The other thing is that, and I said this before, if you're using Grammarly, okay, Grammarly is a plugin that is very popular. For folks. It comes in your browser. You can put it in your browser, so whenever you type, it'll actually help you check your spelling and some other things. You need to disable that. Matter of fact, it's good to probably disable most of your extensions when you're in there. So that's the week we have in front of us. So I'm going to go back to some of my original stuff. Like, what else besides what I've done today would you like me to talk about, right? So I'm totally willing to cover it. I was trying to figure out what that student wanted. Maybe just here's the thing. Tell me what, besides what I've done, and if what I'm doing is fine and it, gives you that view of the week, cool, right? What would you like to hear me talk about, right? All right. Have a good week. Again, we're in week 2 of the actual real world. I'm going to go ahead and release during week 2, week 3, which I try to do, to always have a week ahead, because there are definitely a few students, and thank you very much for working ahead, because it really helps if there's any issues to figure those out. All right. Stay cool. Peace out.